Today I'm going to be shipping my lizard thousands of miles across the United States. So obviously the first thing we're going to need is a box. Now I got this box from Redline Shipping. I'll have it linked down below. But you want to get a box that will fit your animal inside of it. Now I know a lot of people ask, is it safe to ship your animal across the United States? And yes, I've shipped hundreds of animals and I've received hundreds of animals as well. It's completely safe. It's very good. You do have to follow some rules. I'll have rules laid out in this video, but it's very important to follow these rules because if an animal dies, the number one reason why it dies is user error. What do I mean by user? I mean me, the other person. I have never had an animal die in shipping. Knock on wood. Knock on wood for real on that one. Now, I have received an animal that has died, and it wasn't the fault of FedEx or anybody else. It was the fault of the shipper. They put a heat pack in here with no air holes. They shipped when it was like 30 degrees outside, and the animal froze to death. That is an issue, and that's what we're going to talk about. But first thing you're going to need for this, obviously, is a box, like I said. And we're just going to go ahead and make this box. The lizard I'm shipping is a baby, or an 8-year Mastics, so we need a very small box. This is a 7 by 7 by 6. Now, you may ask, can you use any cardboard box to ship your animals? And no, you cannot. These boxes have to meet a minimum, otherwise FedEx will not ship them. And the issue really is most boxes like the Amazon boxes, even the FedEx boxes themselves just aren't strong enough. You want to have something that is strong enough to keep your animal alive during shipping. Now, we get our box and we tape it up. And not a lot of people talk about, like, do you tape the sides along across? You know what I'm saying? Usually most people just go across. I like to go across and then along the sides right here. Makes it, I don't know, it just feels, to me, feels like the way to go, you know, taping a box up. I could be wrong though, you know. Bam, I do it like that. I don't know if other people do it. I feel like most of the time they just do the strip across, that's it. I like to just, you know, make sure it's pretty secure. We get our box though. We're gonna need some insulation, and this is just styrofoam. You can home make your box. Believe me, with the website we're gonna use to ship it, you can just enter details about the box and ship it. I have made custom boxes to huge sizes. I shipped a 4-foot box one time. Now again, if you build your own box, it has to follow some guidelines. I will link a video down below that has those guidelines for building your own box safely for your live animals to ship in. But I did it. You can do it. You can homemade a box. But for simple stuff like this, for a simple baby, I get these custom made ones. It works perfect. Anyways, we get this, put it on the bottom. This is going to sound horrible, so I'm not going to, you know, I'm not going to put the sounds in because right now the tape alone is killing me. Bam, right there. We have a insulated box now. And what we do next is, if it's a little cooler, you can use like some cooling gel like this. This is actually not cooling gel. This is like the Cricket like cubes of water that you get, and then I put it in a Ziploc bag, right? And it's very cool to the touch. So if it's a little warm, you can get this. Like I said, just get Cricket gel or the water gel for insects. Most reptile places sell it. And you can put it on the inside, like on the bottom, and then put some paper over that. And then we have, if you use a deli cup, it depends. I like to use these for certain species, more water species or human species. I use a deli cup. You get the deli cup, you put it on top of that. Then once you put this guy in here, you put this on top of that, bam. But we're not gonna get to that, I'm just showing you what do I do if it was cold, right? But what if it is extremely cold? Now, myself, I do not ship anything below 40 degrees. That includes nighttime, right? If I'm shipping it and it's going to like a FedEx facility, now when you ship it, it's gonna arrive in 24 hours or less, always from me. It might arrive in 28 hours, but for me, it's always arrived in less than 24 hours. I ship it, I drop it off, and I'll show you how to do that as well. We're gonna ship it, we drop it off, and then the next day, the very next day, it's at the person's house. And also, let's talk about the shipping times. It's very important. Do not ship on like a Thursday or Friday. Now you could, but like, I don't like to ship on a Thursday or Friday. Definitely don't ship on a Friday because it's the weekend. It could get lost in transit because they don't ship on the weekends a lot of times. So I always ship Monday through Wednesday. That's the times I ship. It cuts the window down, I know, but for me, that's like the best time to ship, Monday through Wednesday. And then sometimes if I will contact the buyer and be like, hey, do you want to do a Thursday shipping? You know, it is a little sketchy, you know, and then usually they always say no, right? Because obviously. Anyways, let's talk about the heating, right? So if it is cold and you want to raise the temperatures, you want to use something like this. Do not use hand warmers, okay? I see that all the time. Do not use hand warmers. Hand warmers are not meant for this. This is going to last, how many hours is it? 40 plus hours. I highly recommend the 72-hour ones. The 72-hour ones are like the best. This is a 40-hour one, right? So anyways, what you do though, and you want to make sure it's kind of feeling like powder, right? Feel like powder. If it feels like powder, it's good. If it's hard, that means it's old, and you don't want to use it. Anyways, I'm just gonna open this up because I don't care. Oh shoot, I didn't open it good enough. Why? Okay, anyways. So when you get it out, it does look like a hot hands. You know, like the hot hands, if you've never seen them, hand warmers, but it's gonna have a sticky side. Extremely important. I see this happening all the time. Do not rely on this sticky side. Yes, you can use it, right? Yes, you can pull off the stickiness, slap it on there, but I guarantee it's gonna fall off. And then when it falls off, it lays on the reptile. You're gonna burn the reptile 24 hours. This gets up to like 180 degrees. This gets really hot sometimes. So that's very important. Do not put it on the bottom at all. Put it on the top, and then you can tape around the lid like so, tape around it, this side, and then bam. That's very important. However, if you use a heat pad, not a hot hands, this thing, a uni-heat, a shipping warmer. If you use a shipping warmer, what you want to do is you gotta put holes inside of the box. You have to put 4 holes at least. Bam, bam, bam. You can do like one on one side, one on one side, one on one side, one on the other side. But you have to have some ventilation. Otherwise, it's going to be an oven in this piece. You have to have some air coming into this, right? Because these things do get hot. And now if you open this up, it's very important. When you get this and you start, getting it warm, you want to wrap this in like a towel. That's how it gets warm. A lot of people don't. They'll get it and they're like, oh, it doesn't get warm. Just give it a little shake and bake. Give it a little shake and bake. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, a little shake and bake. This does not look right. You get it, and you wrap it in a towel, right? Get a towel, wrap it up in there, and it'll get warm. Once it's warm, you're good to go. Takes like an hour. So make sure to warm this up an hour before putting it in. Plus, if you use one of these, you don't want to use a small box. You want to use a box that's like 12 inches long, 9 inches wide, and I can't remember, like 9 inches high. You want to use a bigger box because it's going to heat up. Like I said, these get extremely hot. So you don't want to have a small box like this. Small box like this, the animal can be closer to the heat. So you don't want that, all right? You want a bigger box, a minimum size. I'll have it up right here. This is a minimum size used for this right here. Anyways, we have our box, but great news, it's a perfect temperature. It's gonna be 65 degrees, so that's perfect. We don't have to worry about, it being too cold, too hot. It's a perfect temperature. I have an arid lizard. He loves the heat. It's not gonna be too hot for him, and it's not gonna be that cold for him because where he's from, it gets into the 60s, even the 50s a lot of times. No big deal. So this is how I'm gonna pack with no cold, no hot. I showed you the cold, I showed you the hot. This is how we're gonna do it. So I get some of this right here. It is the paper. You could use a lot of newspaper. People get creative with the packing material. We put it inside like so. And then we get our animal. This is Dynamite, that's his name, and we're gonna put him inside of here. Then once you put the paper on the bottom like so, now we're gonna get our animal and we're gonna place him inside of the bag or the deli cup, whichever you use. If you use a deli cup, it's very important. You wanna tape the top of the deli cup, right? Because if it shakes around, if it's not, I'm gonna tell you right now, I hate to say it, but those FedEx guys, they toss this stuff around. Not me, not the guys, but like if it goes to this stuff, it's getting tossed around like this right here. We're gonna put it up here, we're gonna put it there, and because it's getting tossed around, you wanna make sure it is extremely snug. I don't know if you ever play the game where you like hold an egg, you try to build something around the egg so it doesn't break. That's what we're doing here, all right? So anyways, we want to make it snug, so that's why we're putting the paper on the bottom. We're gonna get I like to use these reptile bags for a lot of my animals, like if, like say it's like, a bearded dragon, a Eurymastix, because they're arid lizards and they seem to do really well in these right here. But like I said, if you have a crested gecko, you might want to use sphagnum moss with, it's like having a little bit moist. I'm gonna ship some tarantulas and I'll show you how to do that on my other channel, links down below. But for now, we're just doing reptiles, amphibians. Amphibians, sphagnum moss is really good to ship those in. You can put them inside there. But anyways, then we put our reptile inside of the box. And next, more paper. And we make sure that we do this all inside here and make it snug. We want to make sure it's incredibly snug. We don't want it to be tossed around. If it's getting tossed around, we want him to remain in one place inside of the box. And then you put your stuff up in here and make sure it's really well packed. And then after that, we get our last styrofoam piece. We put it on top like so. Now, what a lot of people like to do after this, once they get to this part, they like to have business cards, write something nice on a piece of paper. I always forget to do that, but I message the person on like Facebook or Instagram, let them know I love them. And then we put it right there, and then we seal up the box. Now, let me show you how we tell FedEx to come pick this up and where we drop it off at. Let's get into this part. Now, this is the website I use to ship my stuff. It goes through FedEx. Again, I'm not sponsored by Redline, but you could use Redline. You could use Reptiles to You. You've been using Redline for years, and this is who I use. Morph Market is another one that I also started using shipping and has some good rates as well. But this is what you do. This is for a quick quote, just to kind of get you a ballpark of how much it'll cost. To actually do it, you'll book a shipment. And then when you book a shipment, you could go find a FedEx drop-off location near you. Just to give an example of how much it would cost right here, you could get quotes for that. And you always want to do overnight. 24 hours is what you want to do. And as you can see, the cost is $69.66. This is from Dallas to New York. So obviously it's a little bit more expensive. Some places are a little, if it's a little closer, if it's just one state over, it's cheaper. But for like far reaches, I think the most expensive I've ever had to send it was $120, and it was to California. So yes, it can get expensive, but most of the time it's between like $40 to $80 overnight shipping. You can also schedule a pickup. It costs $5 extra, but the FedEx will come and pick it up at your residence, wherever it is, and they will pick it up, but it does cost $5. Now, again, not every FedEx location can accept live shipments. My local Walgreens was a place I used to go. As you can see, even it says right here, my local Walgreens was a place that I used to drop it off, but they no longer accept it, so I had to find a new place. It's just across town. It was right in and I live in a small town, so if you think like, oh, I live in a small town, there's no place, there's places. And I just take it to the place, give it to them, they scan it and leave, bam, FedEx comes and gets it. And make sure to check whatever you're shipping, if it's invertebrates, reptiles, and then write the stuff on the box so that way they know. It's very important you do that, because a lot of places, it's just to make sure that nothing illegal is coming in and stuff like that, because you might get, someone might be like, what is in the box? Are they trying to import something illegal? And then they open your box, something like that. You don't want that to happen, okay? Just mark it down, tell it what it is, I've sent also isopods, I've never sent aquatics, but, I've sent other stuff. I just put bearded dragon, Iramastics, isopods, dubia roaches, Discord roaches, whatever it is. Also, I do want to add in that I stream Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on Twitch, 8 p.m. Central Time. So if you have any questions, or you just want to come hang out, talk about reptiles, or just talk about life, come join the Twitch. I will have that linked down in the description. And that's how I shipped my lizard thousands of miles across the US to his new home. If you enjoyed, like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.